Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for gathering, and thank you to all the guests who are here today. This is the beginning of our alumni reunion weekend, and it's a special weekend for me personally because it is my 25th reunion as well, so I'm trying to celebrate with my classmates as much as everyone else who's here to join their group. The gentlemen standing behind me are the past presidents and the current president of the Alumni Association and the current recipient and the past recipients of the Edward G. Hames Alumni Honor Award. This is the award that we as a community of alumni bestow on one of us for superior accomplishments in whatever their field may be. And so I'm going to save the introduction for President George Turner of the Alumni Association, but help you understand that this is one of our most prestigious ways of recognizing the men who graduate from this institution. And hopefully one day one of you will be in the running for this, or many of you will be. It is a fun weekend that people have, looking forward to getting the connections restored, seeing classmates they haven't seen in a long time. I also would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge two other award recipients who are here today. As part of alumni reunion festivities, the alumni classes vote on the Miser Family Prize for Excellence in Teaching to past faculty members or sometimes current faculty members who've been here for a number of years and recognize them for the influence that they had on the lives of previous generations of cadets. And so Father Gordon Doffing is here in the court, and Mr. Michael Byrne is up on the railing, or was up on the railing, there he is. Both of them were influential in establishing the middle school program and solidifying it. Many of you will remember Mr. Byrne as, at least the senior class, as assistant headmaster before his retirement. So please give a round of applause for those two gentlemen. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. George Turner, this year's president of the St. Thomas Academy Alumni Association, class of 1979.
Thank you, Matt, and I'm honored today to introduce the winner of this year's award, T.J. Ryan from the class of 1978. Initially, please let me share with the cadets the meaning of this award. The Edward G. Hames Alumni Honors Award seeks to give due recognition to those alumni who have exemplified the ideals of St. Thomas Academy and in doing so distinguished themselves in their communities. Such alumni enrich the lives of those about them through their personal and family lives or their professional occupations, their civic leadership, or human welfare activities, their intellectual or cultural pursuits, or their efforts to advance the goals of the Academy. In presenting this award, St. Thomas Academy hopes the example of the alumnus so honored will be a source of edification and encouragement to alumni, students, and their communities that we all serve. T.J. Ryan grew up in St. Paul and attended St. Luke's grade school. His undergraduate work included the University of St. Thomas, study abroad for a year in England, and Minnesota State Moorhead, where he received his undergraduate degree. He also has earned an MBA in International Business at Johns Hopkins University. TJ comes from a large family and is the youngest of 8 siblings. The Ryans are part of the Mega Hamill clan that has had over 40 graduates from STA over 3 generations. A former Peace Corps member, Ryan has over 30 years of professional experience in international development ranging from humanitarian response work, agriculture and agribusiness development, and promoting private sector partnerships. His work has taken him around the world, having lived in Africa, Latin America, and Southeast Asia. Ryan speaks French, Spanish, and Portuguese. For the past 14 years, he has worked with a private nonprofit organization focused on the coffee and cocoa value chains, assisting small producers to improve their livelihoods while linking them to global markets. TJ and I had a chance to catch up by phone recently after many years. He has been away, and so I brought him up to speed on STA. I shared my opinion that STA is thriving and that it is a better school than the one we attended in the late 70s. Aside from having many and more diverse offerings and upgraded facilities, STA now strives to develop tomorrow's servant leaders. Recently, the Alumni Association Board of Directors had a presentation by Jane Doyle about the service projects by STA students, including a minimum requirement of 100 service hours by seniors to graduate. Cadets, we are so impressed with what you do. TJ will share with you how the idea of service to your fellow man in the world can define your vocation. While reminiscing about our days at STA, TJ and I both remarked about how each class had so many ultra-competent guys, but that most were like we were, average, hard-working cadets. TJ was not an Eagle Award winner, nor cadet colonel, nor captain of any teams, yet he has gone on to do great things in this world. STA has a culture of rigorous academics and competition which can be pressure-packed and overwhelming at times. You cadets probably don't realize it in the midst of it all, but each of you are receiving the groundwork and tools necessary to be tremendous future leaders. Each of you can go forth and do great things too. So think of TJ and dream big. The entire STA community is a family. And that is especially true for those of us who are alumni of this exceptional school. Today we are thrilled to have one of our family return home. Please give a great STA welcome to the recipient of this year's Hames Award, TJ Ryan.
Thank you very much. A little shorter than George. Good morning, everyone. I want to thank St. Thomas Academy for this great honor. It is very humbling, not only for the fact that it comes from this fine institution, but also because of the impressive list of prior recipients, some of whom are here today, but which I'm also proud to say includes my uncle, Bob Hamill. I want to thank the nominating committee and my two classmates who put forth my name, Dave Hamill and Tim Scallon, my biolab partner who, based on our lab experience dissecting things, thankfully chose law school over medical school. I also want to thank my family, starting with my wife Rosa and our 4 kids, Jose, Renee, Matt, and Lizzie. They've not only supported my work, but have also tolerated my many absences due to business travel. And as the youngest of 8 siblings, I want to recognize the positive influence of each and every one of my brothers and sisters, all of whom taught me to try to be a better person. They taught me resilience and how to run and eat fast. Really fast. I'm lucky that all of them are here today except for my sister who lives in California. My brothers Kevin, Bill, my brother Ed, my sisters Sheila, Carrie, and Brenna. My dad graduated from St. Thomas Academy with Edward Hames in 1936, And he and my mom, who they both had lived through the Great Depression and World War II, taught me so much about sacrifice and service through their values and life experiences. My career started as a Peace Corps volunteer in West Africa, and then I carried out humanitarian work for Catholic relief services in countries which were at war. And more recently, I focus on agricultural development for an organization called ACDI VOCA. For many reasons, I am extremely privileged to do the kind of work I do. And I believe that I am here today as much for my choice of career as anything. I am very pleased that the Academy has decided to recognize a career of international development as a reflection of its values through the Hames Award. St. Thomas Academy had a big influence on me. When I was a student here, we talked a lot about cadet pride, and it was based on discipline, high academic expectations for students, and success on the athletics fields. At that time, we had a half-dozen teachers who had been here for more than 30 years. Teachers like Marv Bassett, Jim Keene, Jack Campbell, Skip McMahon, George Snell, and of course, Cy Turveys. For us, they represented and upheld the proud tradition of STA while providing a strong connection to the Academy's long history. The fact that they taught here so long showed their great commitment to the Academy's values of leadership and discipline. And they weren't afraid to provide some tough love, which would, although we didn't appreciate it at the time, contribute to help us build self-confidence. One teacher influenced me in particular, Cy Turveys. Cy taught history, and rather than focus on dates and memorization, he taught us to consider factors such as context, motives, underlying interests, and to actually analyze many of the causes that contributed to significant events. Like so many things, I only came to appreciate the importance of this later, but it has served me often in my work. I was a pretty average student here at St. Thomas. Yet, as a graduate of St. Thomas Academy, I felt that I had gone through 4 years of academic rigor and discipline at an extraordinary school that gave me a foundation of confidence to try things that were normally way outside my comfort zone. This helped to prepare me for a rather unusual career choice. I never got on a plane until I was in college, and I only left the country for the first time when I was 22 years old. I was a C student in my German class, and Herr Flinch, my teacher, would never believe that today I speak 3 foreign languages. I've been fortunate to have lived on 4 different continents, including 10 years in Africa, and have visited almost 50 countries around the world. I worked in countries such as Vietnam, Indonesia, Ecuador, Haiti, Jamaica, South Africa, many others. 2 of the countries I lived in were at war. Angola, which had a devastating civil war, and Rwanda, where our 3-year stay ended with the tragic genocide of 1994, when 1 million Rwandans were massacred over the course of 100 days. I have met presidents, prime ministers, and cardinals, but the most fascinating people I've met are ordinary people who are very humble and somehow find the extraordinary strength and courage or ingenuity to overcome huge challenges. Loss of multiple family members, their homes, a lack of education or basic health care, and extreme poverty. If you would have told me when I was a student at St. Thomas that I would be here 37 years later talking about these experiences, I would never have believed you. Yet today I'm still just a kid from Minnesota, and that will never change. My work now involves supporting economic development and agriculture. Many of the world's farmers farm on 5 acres of land or less. They struggle to access many basic things: training on farming methods, fertilizers, information about seed varieties or weather forecasts, and even markets to sell their products. I work with these small farmers, but also with large companies that you would recognize, such as Hershey, Mars, Nestle. Looking forward, the challenges for your generation include a middle class that is projected to grow by 3 billion people around the world by the year 2030, which will strain our ability to meet the world's demand for food. By 2050, when you all are hitting middle age, the world's population is projected to reach 9 billion. Even today, our food production systems are already under stress due to climate change and diminishing land and water supply that is suitable for agriculture. Research and innovation will be needed to address these challenges. Why couldn't the solutions to these challenges come from someone in this student body? Long after I graduated, St. Thomas instituted a requirement that students complete 100 hours of community service, as George mentioned. This is a great opportunity. So is this page. It's an opportunity for you to learn something about service and try something completely new. Volunteer to work with immigrant communities. Raise money to fight cancer or Alzheimer's or ALS. The key is to get outside of your comfort zone and see it as a learning opportunity. Seek out people who don't look like you, aren't your age, likely have different ideas about life. Challenge yourself. Learn a different language. You'll be amazed at what you can do, and you will undoubtedly benefit more from those you seek to help. I'd like to finish with a quote from Nelson Mandela, the great leader and Nobel Prize winner from South Africa, who said, "What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead." Thank you very much.